In some countries of the world, underground utilities such as pipe for water, gas, or telecommunications are very common in the environment, and it is a regulation in those countries for you to call a certain number, to call a government parastatal prior to doing any excavation that goes beyond 1 foot. Hi there and welcome to Catchment and Resources. In this video we are going to look at what needs to be done as the first steps before anyone carries out excavation or digging around their environment. If you found this video informative, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Everyone should know something about what needs to be done prior to carrying out any excavation in their neighborhood. At the end of this video, I'm going to do a comparison as to the two basic ways to carry out potholing around utilities. Potholing is basically to verify where your underground pipes are. We are going to show two basic ways through which this can be done without leading to an accident. Some accidents which have occurred in the past is hitting of a gas line which has led to an explosion. There are different other accidents that occur, but they often lead to payment by the contractors or the company working on these utilities. When they damage them, they have to pay whoever owns those utilities. But we are going to look at the end of this video some ways in which this damage to public utilities can be minimized. Before you excavate in your neighborhood, there are some basic rules that one needs to follow. First of all, depending on the country where you are, you may need to call a government agency phone number to ask them to tell you where these underground utilities have been installed. They could give you drawings and also help to locate some of these utilities underground. The first step is to find out from government where these utilities are located. Aside calling of the government, the most professional way to carry out the location of underground utilities will be described as the fourth way in which this can be done. First of all, you need to contact the government. Secondly, another way to do it is to look at existing drawings of the property. For example, if someone has constructed a building and they have complete drawings of their electrical, mechanical and other similar drawings, it's possible that these drawings can also contain such information. In addition, number 3 way to find out is to ask from people who have been in the environment for a long time. This is another way to find out where utilities are installed above ground or which can be located or traced to the underground utilities. Number 4 way to locate underground utilities is to call the services of a private company for them to use detectors to locate these underground utilities. There are different kinds of utility detectors which can be used to locate these underground pipes. There are locators for electrical installation, locators for metal installations underground. There are also locators for PVC piping. So there are different ways to locate it. So the 4 basic ways: number 1 is to call a government agency. Number 2 is to look at existing drawings. Number 3 is to find out for people around and to inspect the site to locate any of these underground utilities. And number 4 is to engage the services of a company to actually use equipment and instruments to detect the locations of possible utilities. These are some basic ways through which one can actually locate where underground utilities are. It's important to know because there are safety factors involved in locating utilities. Sometimes you may feel that it's not necessarily important to locate these, but when you see that there can be a casualty, for example hitting a gas main line, which can lead to an explosion, and there can be casualties in that. So we want to avoid such kind of incident. And besides the casualty, you also need to pay compensation in some of these cases. So even if it's water, you will need to pay compensation for the damage to public facility. So once these private companies have located the different utilities underground, there's something called potholing. Potholing is the minor excavation of segments along the alignment, along the length of this utility to ascertain the orientation of this utility pipe. In other words, there are some pipes that may have a general depth underground, but some other cases, like you can see in the screen, it's possible that this pipe can be changing in gradient underground, it can be changing in depth. So you need potholing to verify that this locator has actually identified the location of this pipe, and this pipe is in the orientation that the locator has detected. So in order to do potholing, one basic way they usually advise is to do manual digging or manual excavation around the utility. So it's suggested to use shovel and some other handheld tools. It's also possible, although this is one of the safest ways to do it, rather than using an equipment to excavate. Another way to do it is vacuum excavation, because using shovel and some of all these handheld tools have proven to also lead to accidents, although of a lower proportion than using a mechanical excavator, but they are also shown that they can also lead to some accidents. So there's also care to be taken while using instruments like a shovel. The way you dig around the utility, care needs to be taken. The final way in order to reduce the amount of accidents around the utility when doing potholing is to use a vacuum excavator. Another way to do a safe excavation around utilities, for example during potholing, is to hire the services of a vacuum excavator. Vacuum excavators apply the pressure from water or air and then use another pipe to suck out the earth material from around the utilities. Although vacuum excavation is safer than using handheld tools for excavation, it also can lead to some accidents where excessive water pressure can lead to damage of underground utility pipes. So you can see that before you carry out an excavation, there are some basic steps that need to be followed. Calling on the government, looking at existing drawings, asking people around in the environment and observing the site, as well as hiring the services of a company that actually detects underground utilities with instruments. Also, we looked at potholing, how it's important in order to verify that these indicated pipes are actually the way they are underground. And lastly, we looked at how you can do underground excavation for the potholing using handheld tools, or a more safer way to do it by using vacuum excavators. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video informative, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching this video. This is Carpenter Resources, where we create for better living.